F3A World Series round number 13 tonight, thanks to RaceKraft Simulations Live here from Canna for one of the favourite racetracks in the F1 world. Tonight for our 567th broadcast, we're going live for 2 sessions, kicking it off with the silver session tonight, and then we go across to the gold at about 8 o'clock. In fact, at about 9 o'clock. Let me get that right. So it's pretty good. We just got Rue Koister there giving his intro to the drivers. I'll mute that whilst we go down to the track and have a quick look at the qualifying results, because qualifying has been run and done. How good does this place look from the sky as well? Heading down to the track now, the drivers out on their warm-up session. This is how qualifying looked tonight for the silver session. And it has been Sean Doyle on the top of the times for White Knuckle Racing. A 1 minute 30.396 goes to the top, ahead of Steve Casidis and Kieran Ellis. Tonight, P3. Keith Logan, welcome to the broom. Welcome to the racing tonight. Gavin Innes goes fourth, ahead of Darren Goosey. Justin Bizdeau, followed by Bradley Hudson. Schmallenberg back there in 8th place. Lachlan and Baldwin running at your top 10 for qualifying. We'll go through the full grid shortly. Let's first of all have a look at a couple of these race cars. How good do they look out there? We'll get rid of the music. We'll turn up the sound of the audio of the cars. And we'll jump on board here with Nick Schmallenberg for a fast little lap around this Gilles Villeneuve circuit. And it's going to really test the drivers tonight. Getting all their, obviously, apexes correct, exits correct. Dealing with cold tyres will be a huge part of the race, true. And Kieran Ellis, who was up in the gold series last week, tonight back into silver for the race. Hazy's in the house. There's evening, Luke and everyone. Nice to have you there, mate. JD as well. Says, love these flyovers as part of the sim racing broadcast. So cool. Thank you. Thanks to Microsoft Flight Sim. And when I get a bit of spare time, I'm going to do some new ones. I'm feeling a bit stale on those ones at the moment. Yeah, but I do love doing my flyovers for each circuit that we go to, and it gives you a great perspective of obviously the circuit, the surrounding buildings as well, where it's located, and it is fantastic. So we're just getting things underway. I'm just going to send Rue the YouTube link, which I forgot to do tonight. I knew I'd forgotten something. I think I got everything else sorted except that. So let me quickly find that for him and flick it over, because I think I got everything else sorted. I feel very slack right now. So we'll share that clip with Rue, and hopefully he can share it with all his friends and get it happening tonight. It's going to be a good race, that's for sure. Once we get to the gold, the championship in gold, really starting to get down to the... Oh boy, did you see that? Kieran Ellis just knocking the wheels off that car. In fact, it was someone else behind him knocking the wheels off the car, and they rejoined. That was Justin, so pretty lucky. We may see a bit of that tonight, where I think it's more of a netcode thing that lets them get away with the odd little wall rub here and there. The championship points for the gold series, and in fact the complete series here for F3A's World Series. This is how it stands. Jaden Laddick on top, 16.52. It's down to 52 points now between himself and Benny Roberts, and Lutzer there in the hunt as well. Anything can still happen with this round, and then next week we're off to Le Mans. Can you believe we're going to do laps around Le Mans to finish off this fantastic season? And it has been a rip of the World Series. We've been around the world and back again. We've got some driver camps tonight too, which we'll flick over to shortly. And of course, all the RaceKraft boys, as they're getting set to go and get into this once again. Gee, they've been good supporters of the series, as well as a couple of drivers doing some practice starts down in the pit lane, which is good to see. That was Justin doing a quick practice start with about 10 seconds to go. A lot of drivers fail to do that. They forget about the practice starts. Super important in a league like this. You want to get away cleanly, you want to get away well, and you want to try and get that first lap advantage. Right, let's head down, put the RaceStars theme song on. Let's go down to the grid for our silver race tonight. 35 minutes on the clock. And this is how they will line up tonight for race number 1. And Sean Doyle grabs himself pole position ahead of Stephen Casidis on that first row of the grid. Kieran Ellis will start tonight out of 3 with Gavin Innes out of 4. Then it's Goosey and Bizdeau off the 3rd row. Hudson, Schmallenberg, Lachlan and Baldwin round out your top 10. Johansson and Grieve down there in 12th place on the grid. 13th goes to Capel. Lockie Capel there in 13th place with Lockie Taylor next to him. Well, Lockie's rounding out the 7th row of the grid. Lesueur and Burt down there in 16th place with Adam Gardner and Brett Barker down there in 18th place on the grid. 18 competitors, smallish field tonight. Christopher Mitchell with the big stars. He is a big star, but Sean Doyle on pole position has done a wonderful job tonight. We get set for them to get away shortly, just waiting on a couple of competitors. And with the short grid, obviously I've got way too much music for how much or how many names we've got to read out. This is how they will start though. What do you reckon? Kieran Ellis, who did so well in gold, he's back in silver tonight. Can he get a jump from the second row and maybe split the first two competitors here, Sean and Stephen? Just waiting on Justin, John, Lockie, Nathan and Brett to grid up. So we'll get rid of the music. We'll get ready to crank up the sound of these F3 cars. The World Series has been so much fun. Big thanks to RaceKraft Simulations, of course, for coming on board as a sponsor. And VRS, you can join that VRS competition. Tonight's code word is, what is it again? Moose. M-O-O-S-E, being that we're in Canada. So Moose tonight is the code word. Make sure you go and get onto that. And we'll be listing out for some race control information as well tonight. We've got that all plugged back in for you. So we'll hear any messages that come through from race control. Exciting. I'm excited. Are you excited? It's going to be, I think, a challenge to keep it out of the fence is probably one word I would say, a challenge. Especially through maybe turn 3, turn 4, and then the chicane 6 as well. The left-hander 6 into the opening 7, which heads you down the back straightaway under the bridge. To me, that's a tricky one too. Matty Williams with the 500 stars. You guys are absolute legends. Thank you so much for your support. Looking forward to getting through this one, though. This is going to be a big race tonight for the silver. We wait to go green, and we get a green light. P2, Stephen didn't move. He got going eventually. And Bizot made a good jump from in the midfield, and he's gone back to where he started now. So Sean Doyle, perfect getaway. The top 7 have held position. Getting a little bit tight back in the pack. You can see Baldwin running through there with Lachlan just behind him. So he's been able to dispatch him one place. And Lesueur's off the racetrack. Darren's in the fence. That car is broken. We may get an early safety car. They've gotten through okay. Back of the field, we've got another crash, and it's they're struggling to get through these first couple of corners. Cold tyres especially is mega around here. You've got to wait for them to come into the window before you start to lean on these tyres. We've got a slow car there. Was that Kieran Ellis has gone around as well. So lots of action here in the opening lap of the race, and plenty of drivers just struggling to come to terms with their race cars. Looking out the back there, you can see it's already, I think second and third have also gone into the barrier. So Casidis is going backwards, and he's also had a shocker there, and I think Gavin Nins might have been the other car involved in that. So we'll just keep an eye out. There's a bit of chatter on. We may get a safety car.
Thank you.
And we'll just wait in here. We're going to have some race control messages tonight, so we'll just keep that in our mix so you guys can hear it as well. But it looks to me, just trying to see if Lachlan Capel's out there. He's in the safety car. And so far, he's still sitting in the pit lane. So it looks like we're still live. Sean Doyle coming through to finish lap 1, and looking back at the gaps and who's made up some gains on the opening lap, it's quite a huge 4.2 second margin after one lap, and the JWM eMotorsport drivers now running second and third have made up 5 positions apiece as we see the battle with Baldwin now chasing down Nick Schmallenberg. Let's jump. Baldwin's gone off the track as well. So mistake there has unleashed Schmallenberg, who can head off under the distance and try and track down his teammate. So Hudson P2, Schmallenberg P3, Baldwin P4. All 3 of those drivers making up massive gains, 5 apiece for Hudson and Schmallenberg, 6 for Baldwin. And then you've got Gavin Nins. He's dropped a spot as the back end of Hudson's car almost goes around, and his teammates all over him, swarming, trying to get through. I'm not sure what the team orders are here with these two. Schmallenberg goes to the inside into the braking zone. Will he try and get down there? And he does. Nice overtake. So there you go. Ellis straight on the blower there about an incident on lap 2.
Copy 39.
So you can just hear race control copying that, and they're going to have a look at that one shortly. So I think we're going to see a fair bit of that tonight, and the drivers just need to get themselves settled. It was a flurry, the opening lap. Plenty of incidents, plenty of mistakes. A lot of that could have been avoided, I think, with just letting the tyres come into a temperature. Garrett Goosey we're on board with now. He's pushing for an overtake here. This is against Gavin Nins into the braking zone. Who's going to be in the Wall of Champions first tonight? Nins goes. In fact, Nins backs out of it. And then, just as I predicted, Darren Goosey He just slapped the wall of champions, and I think he may have got away with it, but that was quite a big hit. It didn't do any damage to the car, which surprises me. You heard the crunch on the audio feed. He's got away with it somehow, Goosey. And Nins would have seen that, and he would have thought, okay, there's a position for me. Schmallenberg goes wide now. So this is letting a 7.2 second lead for Sean Doyle. He's disappeared in the distance, and look at John Baldwin. Wow, Baldwin all over the back now of Hudson. Almost made some contact. Massive challenge going on here. Let's jump on board with John Baldwin, P3. He wants second, and you can probably see already that Doyle has just checked out. He wants to clear this JWM car as quickly as possible through the chicane. Once again, the JWM car of Hudson drifts wide right out to the fence. Goosey was slow through there as well. Now he's under pressure, and Lachlan, who's just in behind, gets a great view of this little battle in front between Nins, Schmallenberg and Goosey. All three cars going 3 wide into the hairpin. Hello. They get away with it. Schmallenberg comes out just in front. Meanwhile, Hudson and Baldwin just up the road, challenging for position. The long shot, check it out. The Olympic rowing venue here. And check out these cars jostling for position. We'll see the wall of champions shortly. That's where Goosey hit on the previous lap, right about there behind our grandstand. It was a big hit. Sean Doyle continues to lead. Just does a 1:31.1, so he's ticking off some quick laps. Compare that to Hudson's lap time. He crosses the line now, does a 32.6. So the lap time for Doyle, more than a second. In fact, 1.2 seconds, 1.4 seconds clear of P2. This man is checking out. See you later. Although that's just been eclipsed by Justin Bizot down there in 13th place, new fastest lap of the race, a 1:31.0. Righto, Will Wilson's in the house. He says, hair mousse, chocolate mousse, or horny horse mousse. I think the horse mousse is what we're referring to tonight. Just Me says, let's go Schmally. And Go Casitas says, sang as well. And good to have you guys in on the chat. Over on Facebook, we've got Donna Doyle. How's young Sean going here? He's absolutely flying, as you can see. Back to this battle with Goosey, Nins and Schmallenberg. Big thanks to Maddie, Christopher as well. Feel like some Putin for dinner post-race tonight. And Keith Logan, g'day mate, Rue and team. Good to have you guys tuning in. And this is good. We've got the Gold Series drivers probably just standing by, waiting to get in on the action as soon as they can, and listening out there for maybe a little bit of a redress or a penalty. Oh, there was a penalty up on the screen. I've missed it. You guys would have seen it. There's definitely a penalty being dished out there. As I just look back to see where Kieran Ellis is. He's back in 10th place, and we're going to jump over and have a quick look at his race camera at the moment. So he's concentrating. He's probably not 100% happy with where he's at right now, dropping 7 spots back into 10th place. So the RaceKraft driver chasing down Ben Johansson, Casitas just in front of him as well. So they'll just need to get a bit of a wriggle on here and see if he can't catch up and overtake a couple of these drivers. And it was that early mistake that cost him. But it's good to have, once again, a big thanks to the drivers that give us full access to their race cameras and full access to be able to see what they're up to. We'll see that later on in the Gold League as well. There's about 4 race cams we'll get to watch tonight. And right now, Kieran continues to play his part. Sean Doyle continues to disappear into the distance. Hudson P2. The gap between Hudson then, he's just run very wide through there. That's helped John Baldwin get a good exit and a good run. We'll jump on board with John here. Kidney Stone Brothers, AHR Media. He now chases after Bradley Hudson. We've got the other RaceKraft boys over there doing some laps as well. We won't interrupt them right now, but Christopher Mitchell, I'm just watching him. I've got a feeling he's either qualifying or ghost racing. I think he might be qualifying. I can see him he's in a bit of a battle. You can see him right there. That's Christopher Mitchell warming up for the Gold Series race a bit later on tonight. So he's well and truly battling out there, and I presume they are in qualifying, or in at least their open practice now, because the race kicks off in 45 minutes. So looking good, doing some practice. We'll catch up with those guys later as soon as we have either a safety car or a chance to go and chat to them will do just that. So a small field tonight. Capello obviously in the safety car, and Brett Barker did not take to the paddock tonight to have his run. We've got Ty Ratcliffe, Rue Koester and Lockie Capel over in race control, as always, doing a fantastic job, and we get to have a little bit of look at their race control setup later as well during the gold race. So a bit of information about tonight, whilst these drivers continue to try and find a way through. That's Casidis on the back of Lachlan as we hit the 9-minute mark into a 35-minute race. A little bit of information about tonight's circuit. It's 4.31 kilometres, 13 turns, average lap speed around here 172.4 kph, top speed 250 down the casino straight into turn 12-13. That is the Wall of Champions there. The lowest speed 65 kph at the apex of the hairpin, which the drivers have just come out of now. And as Nins goes through, still in P5. The heaviest corner loading, 2.7 Gs through turn 3. And that is a tricky corner to get right. Quick direction change through turn 4 and stay off that wall, says Christopher Mitchell in his pre-race guide notes. And the heaviest braking, 2.6 G into the hairpin from 230 kph down to 65. So it's a big braking zone to wash off plenty of speed. As we see Johansson now in 9th place, the front disc glowing red on that F3 car as he jumps on the slow pedal. Chance of a safety car tonight, 99%. Chance of more than 2 safety cars, 70%. Well, we haven't seen one yet. We may have got one on lap 1, a couple of drivers getting into some bingles, but we've stayed green so far, lap 7. Some of the action points, according to Chris Mitchell, lap 1 is turn 1 and turn 2 almost guaranteed a pile-up. Well, he read that 100% correct, didn't he? Because we did have a pile-up. And the passing opportunities into turn 3 under brakes, into turn 10, of course, for the hairpin into the slipstream down Casino Straight, turn 12, another passing opportunity if you gain. So some good information there from Chris Mitchell. RaceKraft Simulations running into tonight's race. Gavin Nins on board with him now. You can see right behind it is Darren Goosey trying to get a good exit and a good run down the straight. You can see Goosey's just been losing a little bit of time on the last few laps. 3/10 he lost on lap 3, 4/10 on lap 4, just under 2/10 on lap 5, and 45 thousandths of a second on lap 6. So he's got to just try and turn that table the other way, does Goosey. Possibly an undercut is a possibility. Oh, he just hit the fence again. How many times has he done that tonight? Goosey into the wall once more. So to do with fuel usage, we haven't spoken about that yet as well. Fuel usage tonight, about 1.3 litres per lap. So it's not a massive amount of fuel these F3 cars use. And Silver limited to 46% of a tank. So they've only got a 20.93 litre tank to start with. Gets them about 10 laps. So our pit window's open now on lap 8. We'll close on lap 16 with no cautions. So we expect to probably see a couple of drivers in at the end of this lap. Bradley Hudson's in the fence for JWM. So he's had a little bit of a shocker there, unfortunately. And I wonder if anyone else was involved in that. Looks like he's got away with it. He's continuing to run here with limited damage, but he's dropped all the way down to 11th place as Hudson. So let's have a quick look at the replay on that one. So was he by himself? He was by himself. I reckon he's going to just drop it here through the left-hander. The back end's going to let go and rotates around. Quite a slow spin, that one. Kept it off the fence and then just got out of harm's way. Let the field go through. Drops back to P11. So easy to do in these cars. I've had a couple of drives myself and really struggle to get the back end grip right. As we see now, Schmallenberg under pressure from Nins into the braking zone for the final couple of corners. Once again, Goosey flirts with the fence. How many times has he done that tonight? He goes through. Goosey now gets a little bit of a look and goes down the inside on Gavin Nins. Good overtake, wheel-to-wheel action down into turn 1. And he's got the job done. That's a good pass in a challenging place on the racetrack. So he trusted the performance of that car to brake, turn, and not lose traction. As I think Taylor's off the track at the same spot now through turn 1. Lockie Taylor drops back a few positions, and that brings Lucas Burt back into the frame as well. So Sean Doyle at nearly 12 seconds now the lead. We'll give him some airtime. There he is, the 74 car. He'll be thinking probably end of this lap, into the pits. so far so good. He's almost got himself half a pit stop ahead of the field anyway, so he's looking very, very comfortable. We'll like that track information. Big thanks to Christopher Mitchell for that. He's very thorough when he sends me through a little track pack prior to the race. In fact, he's given me his fastest lap from pre-qualifying 2, which we're going to show between this server and the next server tonight, which is pretty cool. So stand by for that. Nick Schmallenberg once again under some pressure. Look at the way they're weaving down the straightaway. Darren Goosey, he got Nins on the previous lap. I think he's going to have a crack this time. He's on the outside into the braking zone, so he'll have to tuck back in behind. And Nick Schmallenberg, out near the fence. Nice job, he holds position for now, but I reckon Goosey fancies himself here. He goes to the outside. Will he switch back to the inside? He doesn't. Schmallenberg holds on Nick, up 5 spots into the top 3. John Baldwin in front of him, up 8 spots into second tonight. That's a great performance. Can he carry on with that and get himself a podium tonight? There he is. It's a lonely old race for the top 2. 12 seconds, nearly 13 seconds now, the gap between first and second, then a further 2 seconds from Baldwin back to Schmallenberg. You can see that battle in the background. Schmallenberg, Goosey and Nins just hanging on. Then it's a gap back to Kieran Ellis. He's got himself slightly back into this tonight. Took him a little while. But he's now getting up closer and closer. Greg Holmes in the house. Hello, mate. Says dropped in to show or to see how the other leagues do it on RaceStars TV. Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're enjoying this and having a bit of a night off. I know you're a very hard worker, doing your day job plus the incredible Roads to Rumble series, which wrapped up last night. When they're coming back in a week for a new series. As down the inside, it's Schmallenberg fighting here with Goosey, Nins. Ellis is just closing that gap now as well, and Lachlan's also being dragged into this. And Justin Bizot, who we remember got a quicker slap of the race quite early, he's just got past Ben Johansson, and they're chasing or trailing, keeping Nathan Gardner with them as they move forward. But let's go back to Schmallenberg. Now Goosey and Nins have gone to the lane. First drivers into the pits now from the top 10. Let's keep an eye on this pit stop, see how quick it is. And we'll ride on board with Darren Goosey. Goes into the lane, looks for his marks to stop on. And you'll see him just get a little bit of a break. Oh, in fact, he's driven straight through, has he? Oh no, he's right down the end. I got a little bit confused there. They go right to the end of the lane, much further than the F1 cars go. Nins goes straight through him. Thank you very much, he says. And he just waits for fuel to go in. It's a stop of 7.4 seconds stationary. Nins has jumped him. Look at that. Gavin Nins gets out in front. So it wasn't the best stop for Goosey. Nins took 5.1. Oh, and he spun as well, and he'll back it into the wall. So Goosey, I'd say he's probably changed the tyres, and that's damaged. That is broken. So he's in all sorts now. He's going to limp his way back to the pits, but that car may have to retire. Look at that, damaged rear suspension, the Hankook tyre hanging off the car. Wouldn't be surprised if that detaches very, very soon, although they do have tethers.
Race control requesting a tow 186.
So Darren Goosey requesting a tow.
Standby 186.
And we might get our first safety car of the night here. We'll wait and see if Lockie Capel's going to move. It was quite a big hit. And we'll see what race control deem there, whether or not they're going to call that
safety car. Safety car.
There you go. So safety car boards and flags. We're out for our first caution of the night. Sean Doyle's big lead of 14 seconds goes up in smoke. Now, importantly, look at this. John Baldwin has been able to get into the pit lane. So the race leader has gone through without stopping. The next drivers are going to be able to get in and take some fuel. So Sean Doyle really needs to get a wriggle on now. He hasn't been picked up by the safety car. And how will this turn out for him? He needs to really keep on it. It may be okay. I presume the safety car, where is he waiting? He's out on the track, and he has... Oh dear, has he picked up the race leader? I think he has.
So really, how's that work? I'm
devastating.
The car, and
devastating for Doyle. So
behind the safety car.
As you can hear, there's going to be a little bit of chatter here, I reckon, and we might just mute that because we'll let them sort it out in race control. It's that's a real controversial one. That happens in the real world as well. And Doyle is stuck at this slow speed of the safety car. Everyone else that has stopped will get out of the pits now. They'll form up behind the train. And that's the luck of the draw in racing. Sometimes it will bite you. And sadly, it's bitten him really badly tonight. So, wowee. Got a feel for him. That's absolutely devastating. We'll try and just continue to listen in a bit if we can. There's a bit, I'd say, to be said.
Copy 10.
So Sean Doyle, there he is. The queue of cars behind him as well.
Lead left, stay left. Everyone's on the lead lap, stay left. Everyone who's a lap down on the right, please.
So we're just hearing race control talking about some drivers being able to unlap themselves.
Car 16,
So car 16, I think, was one of them, which was
Settle
Darren Lasura. He'll be able to go through shortly
Sorry, I thought you said the cars are lap down.
and just get his lap back. So that's
cars that are lap down, stay on the right-hand side.
so here we go. So yeah, this is devastating for Doyle, isn't it? So he's been hung out to dry here with a bit of bad luck. Let's have a quick look at the replay of the incident that's brought out this manual safety car driven by Lockie Capel. And we'll have a look first at Bradley Hudson. Here it is.
Lap cars may now lap themselves. Lap cars may now lap themselves.
So this was the first little incident that happened on lap 12. Let's have a look at this. So Hudson
Copy that.
came down, lost the back end of the car. Oh, and then he went across, and that was a secondary impact that we didn't see early on. Steve Casidis was another one. Let's have a look at this. So I think this was out of the pits. So Steve got running, and he's going to go straight into the spinning car. So just watch up ahead. You see the car out of control, and he couldn't avoid the JWM car, make some contact, and plenty of damage there. The incident that brought out the safety car was actually Darren Goosey. Let's have a quick look at that. So this is out of the pit lane, and obviously with cold tyres. In fact, it was a little bit before that. If we can back it up, it may not let me here, but yeah, that was a bad mistake for Goosey, and it's cost him dearly out of the race, as you can see from the damage. Let's go back to live. I think I just heard race control saying the safety car about to speed up is in the pit lane. Your race leader, Sean Doyle. Now, this is a challenge for him. There's still 15 minutes to go in the race. He's going to come out, I would say, around 10th or 11th spot. Can he get himself through the field? So there's the field going through now. Sean Doyle in the lane. You can hear him revving the car. He gets out now, so 9th place. I reckon it'll be closer to 8th because he'll get a nice slingshot down to turn 1. So he's out ahead of Lucas Burt, P8, and out in front the safety car has sped up. We're about to go back to green flag racing into this lap. So let's put Sean Doyle, P8. It's not over yet. He needs to just keep himself composed here and get set to push on. It'd be very easy to drop your head and get a little bit depressed when you get a bad call like that and the safety car timing doesn't work for you. But his lap speed, he pulled a 14-second gap over 12 laps in this race. He can definitely do it tonight.
That car will come in on this lap.
Righto, so safety car in this lap. We're going to see it shortly. Back in the lane.
35, please hold speed, no more than 70.
So car 35 not allowed to go more than 70 kph now as the safety car clears out. Big thanks again to Lockie Capel tonight. There he is in the F3A or FRG safety car. Looks fantastic. Get a shot of it coming down this big long back straightaway. There it is with the VRS insignia on the front as well. Big thanks to VRS again for their contribution on board. How cool does it sound? Down the gears. Good job, Lockie Capel, in the safety car tonight. We've seen a few safety car crashes over our time here with RaceStars TV. Right, let's get set to go back to green flag racing. John Baldwin, remember the pressure's to be down, the tyre temps be down as well. This is a look from Sean Doyle's car. He's got 7 competitors in front of him. He needs to try and knock off their perch to get a great win tonight, and that would be one of the best recovery drives we've seen if he can do it. Here we go. So we've got 12 minutes to run in the race. Back to green flag racing, and John Baldwin, who has been quick tonight as well, leads us away. Nick Schmallenberg second. Kieran Ellis holds out 3rd spot as we get underway, and that's good for Ellis as well, bringing himself back up into the top 3. Sideways through turn 1, the back end just swinging around. Patience, boys, patience. Sean Doyle, 8th place. He hasn't made an impact yet on Justin Beddoe. Right on board with Sean, it's the white knuckle sim racing now. Oh, hello. Oh. Almost an impact there with Justin, who got out of shape. Sean did very well to not get caught up in that. Now Justin comes back at him, and Sean moves himself up into 7th place. Wow, that was close. So good reflexes, and he was able to, I guess, check up. He thought, first of all, just to go for it, and then he thought, no, I'll check up. This could be a huge, nasty crash. And lucky he did, because it would have been disastrous had he pushed on. Have a look, this is the onboard. So there it was. You could just see him check up and saved himself probably some broken suspension. Up near the front, Nick Schmallenberg has Kieran Ellis for company all over the back of him. So Ellis having a big run at this now. Let's go and have a look. The young fella, he'll have the pressure on. He'll have all his teammates talking at the same time. They're all in the RaceKraft room. You can see how cool, calm and collected he is. He's not phased at all by this, and down into the braking zone he goes. He's got a car just on his inside. He gets up over the curb, just keeps it out of the fence. He shakes his head and he holds onto P2. Kieran Ellis just looking up in his mirrors. He can see Schmallenberg and Nins behind, and still we've got 10 minutes to go in this race. It's not over yet. The big dive from Schmallenberg. He has another look, and cool as a cucumber, Ellis, he's not phased at all by that. We should get I reckon we get a teammate reaction to this. I know Gianni's watching on. Let's see if we can get a hello from Gianni. He's having a laugh, whatever he's doing there. He's having a bit of a drink and a laugh, but let's hope he's watching his teammate, spotting for him. You there, Gianni? Say g'day. Give us a wave. And Chris Mitchell still circulating, doing laps out there, so he's not listening, obviously. Oh, just as I said that, he waved, and I put it away. So there you go. We missed him. We'll try once more. It's about a 15-second delay. Give us one more wave there, Gianni, to tell everyone that you're listening at home. That was a bit of a shocker. Baldwin's cleared off in front, by the way. There he is. Now he waves. There's the delay that you get from live to YouTube, of course. So Baldwin leads, Ellis second. The gap now 1.2 seconds. Now the gap back to Sean Doyle, and sadly, I'm looking now, it's P15. And Doyle has had a crash on lap 14. We didn't see it. Let's have a quick look now. Sean Doyle is down into, don't tell me he's going to hit the wall of champions here. He goes into the brake zone, loses the back end, up over the curb, and stops up against the fence there. So sadly, for the white knuckle racing car, that's probably going to be the end of his night. And the hard luck of that safety car ended his chances of taking a win tonight. So Sean Doyle drops all the way to P last, as John Baldwin taking the spoils at the moment, winning in this one by 0.8 of a second over Ellis. And then Schmallenberg, Nins, Lachlan, Johansson is back there in 6th place as well. Let's jump on board with him for a little bit, right out against the fence. You can see the tyre marks on that fence where other drivers have gone in, made some contact. Let's see if we can get Christopher Mitchell's attention, because I know he's watching it on his phone. So we'll see if we can get away from him, and I won't interrupt and jump into their channel, because I know, there you go. He knows we're lurking. He knows, he's listening. Very, very good. So what a legend. We'll chat to him a little bit later on, but I won't jump into their audio feed at the moment, because Kieran has got the race face on, and he's actually challenging right now for P1 in this race. He could get himself a win for RaceKraft Simulator, and that will keep John Lee and the team over at RaceKraft very, very happy with just on 8 minutes to go in the race. Let's have a quick look at the stewards room, and Rue Koistras, the maestro. This is the setup that Race Control are watching right now. So obviously that's Rue Koistras. He's got a couple of different streams going on there, and then he's got I think he's checking who came in the room. He had a look then. Oh, it's Luke, he says. And you can see he's got the track map, he's got the screen in the middle, plus he's also watching another screen as well. Gives him the ability to have his eyes all over the racetrack as the race director, and that's fantastic. So big thanks to them. Also giving us access tonight to jump in and out of their room. As Lucas Burt goes wheel to wheel here with Justin Bizot. This is for 8th position. Burt goes through. Thank you very much, he says. And then he goes off the track. So that'll give him a slowdown. He has to give the time back to iRacing now. Just like Robin from the bank, you got to give it back. And there you go. He has to get out of the throttle. Hudson takes advantage of Lucas Bird also being on the wrong foot, and he almost has a shot through. So 28 minutes in, 17 laps. Your race leader still under pressure. Let's ride on board with Johnny Baldwin. In fact, let's jump in with Kieran Ellis. Some visor cam as he heads down towards the hairpin. Through the hairpin he goes, onto the throttle, just ease it in. It's a bit like Happy Gilmore with the tap, tap, tap it in. You've got to ease it in, ease it in. Down the back straight away. Look at them, speed creeping up towards 250 kph in the slipstream as well. And he'll go for a run down the outside. Baldwin parks his car right in the middle of the racetrack, no way through there. Over the bumps, he goes right out to the wall of champions. And now down to start the next lap of the race. And lap 18, as the time ticks down, Ellis having a look to the inside. I wonder what his teammates are saying right now. Are they saying wait to the final lap for one last lunge? As Schmallenberg in behind has Lachlan for company as well. And Gavin Nins, don't count him out, P5, still in with a hunt here tonight. Bradley Hudson's crashed out. He's dropped right down to the back of the order as well. Sad for Sean Doyle. He's not going to finish in the top three. He's also holding the fastest lap of this race with 1 minute 30.33. Incredible lap. Oh, big crash, big wreck here. That's Stephen Casidis. And he's hit the wall hard. He's got to rotate the car and get it going. He's got 12 seconds to do that. He may limp it back to the pits, but that was a huge crash. And we'll get you a replay on that one. He's hit the wall pretty hard. He's got it running again, luckily. So look at the replay. Lost the back end, over into the fence, takes the nose off the car. And luckily it kept the wheels on so it can at least limp that back to the pits. And in front of the top two, still half a second covering them. Let's have a look at the lap times over the last 5 laps. In the advantage of Ellis, it was 5/10 on lap 15, 6/10 on lap 16, and just over a 10th on lap 17 as he's now right underneath the rear wing. So that's some good performance. Goosey's had another crash, Gardner as well. They've both crashed out of this one. And in the background, look at Nins all over the back of Lachlan, having a look. Side's better of it for now anyhow. So looking at the times, we've got what, three laps probably left in the race. 3 laps and counting for Kieran Ellis to try and steal a win tonight off John Baldwin. Kaylin's here for the snacks. Where do they serve the snacks? I'll send you some snacks. What's going on? Oh dear, we got some spammers, have we? Is Will Wilson here? Can he help me? We'll block this user on YouTube. Hopefully it works. I'm not sure if the blocking through Restream actually helps get rid of those spammers, but anyway, I've tried my best. They're relentless, aren't they? It's annoying as Ellis has dropped out of the top 5 now. So Kieran's crashed. As I was watching and monitoring the spam that was going on, he's dropped way down, and sadly, that's probably thrown his chances of a podium out the window. Look at Schmallenberg in front, being absolutely hounded here by Lachlan and Nins. They're going to go either side of him, are they? Down into the braking zone. Nins in the background is all over the place, swerving, trying to find a way through. Oh, contact, big contact in front. They're in the fence, into the wall of champions. Oh, there's a huge pile-up. There's a huge pile-up down there. Did Ellis get caught in there as well? He did. Can you believe it? So we've got a stack of cars involved in that one. Lachlan, Schmallenberg, and others. Doyle goes through, and that actually puts Doyle back into a chance of getting maybe a top 3. He's up into 8th place now with the possibility of a safety car. I don't think they'll go to a safety car with only 2.5 minutes to go. John Baldwin's been gifted a massive lead now, 6.7 seconds, and Gavin Nins goes up into P2. He kept his nose very clean through that crash. You could sort of see it coming, couldn't you? And let's have a quick look at a replay of that one. Schmallenberg. Here it was. So Nick Schmallenberg into the braking zone. Let's just watch this from chopper cam if we can get a shot from this angle, hopefully. There's a lot of trees here. And there it is. So they slow it down and into the fence. And, well, contact. And then Ellis, just for good measure, goes in there and becomes a part of it. So sadly, 3 or 4 drivers there have been knocked out of what was a great top 3 battle. Baldwin leads 6.9 seconds. Gavin Nins on for P2, and Ben Johansson has just been overtaken by Lockie Taylor, who's made up 11 spots in this race to now put himself in a podium place. So Lockie Taylor, P3, Ben Johansson 4. We're going to have probably one more lap in the race, just looking at the timing. Yes, one more lap to go. So white flag will drop now for Baldwin as he crosses the line. And it'll be line ball, actually. It'll be very close to actually making them do an extra lap. Jacob Neesy's in the house, and he says it's well done, Nins. There's someone looking for YouTube. You got to go over to Taipan eSports page. If you want to go to YouTube and just type in Taipan eSports, and you'll find our YouTube channel. And in fact, I can probably just paste the link to the YouTube there. I know Facebook hates when I do that. It's quite disappointing to see. I got a message on my Facebook Messenger the other day about RaceStars TV, and it said, "Have you had enough or something of these guys going live? Would you like to ignore their posts?" And I thought, how rude of Facebook, when you've got 5,000 or so subscribers, to be sending those sort of messages encouraging people to ignore your live streams, which to me is one of the biggest problems with Facebook gaming. They don't tend to support the channels and streamers, and especially with iRacing, it's been very, very quiet as far as the getting the word out there because of their algorithms. So any shares help. Thanks to everyone that's been a part of it tonight, and Daniel Yeaman's shared the stream and others as well, because like I said, Facebook algorithms at the moment are just trying to hammer out the streamers for some reason. Maybe iRacing haven't paid them some money, who knows what it is. But to cross the line, John Baldwin will take the checker flag for a fantastic win tonight, and he's done it in style, hasn't he? 6.3 seconds ahead of Gavin Nins, who comes through for a wonderful P2. And in the background, it is Lockie Taylor, just gets him to the line. Lockie Taylor gets P3 in the end over Justin Bizot, and Ben Johansson finishes 5th ahead of Lucas Burt, Kieran Ellis, and Sean Dodd does get back into 8th place. What could have been for him? A bit of heartache in that one as well, but he at least got himself back in to the top 8. Some points in the penultimate round of this series. We've got one more to go next week. Don't go anywhere. We'll have some interviews with the top 3 shortly before we head over to the gold server, and then head to the big race tonight, the 50-minute finale, coming up very, very soon. Race results coming up on the screen now. So John Baldwin confirmed the winner. Kidney Stones Racing HR Media, 6.3 seconds over Gavin Nins, Lockie Taylor. And it was Bizot, Johansson, Burt, Ellis, Doyle, Lachlan and Hudson running out your top 10 tonight. Schmallenberg, after a great race, finished 11th. And it was Gardner, Lesueur, Good Eve, Cassidas, Goosey, and then thanks to Lockie Capel in the safety car tonight. Did a wonderful job for our one safety car. And John Baldwin here lights it up with a big burnout. We'll head across now to the Discord room, and we'll get him in for a chat as soon as Johnny comes in. He's still, I think, out there busy lighting up the tyres, which we love to see. I always encourage it here at RaceStars TV. Gavin Nins having a go as well. And Lockie Taylor, he's down there. He's like, righto, I'll see what I can do. Big burnout. They're down the hairpin. That's where they are. I was trying to work out where they'd got to. Down the hairpin, leaving some signatures on the racetrack. Fantastic. Right, let's head across now. We've got Gavin Nins standing by. We're just going to wait for Johnny to come in for a chat, but he's a bit slow, so we might first of all say g'day to Gavin. How are you, buddy?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. Good to get on the podium.
Yeah, mate. We're just going to obviously wait for John to come in, but fascinating race tonight. Before we talk about your coming in, getting P2, talk about that safety car and what was the chat like between your race leader, who got caught out, hung out to dry, didn't he, in a sense?
Yeah, it felt pretty bad for him. I'm not sure exactly what the logistics of that was, but yeah, Sean obviously had a pretty cruisy race until then. But I guess if someone like me could get a podium, then you know, there's always someone that wins from that. So yeah, bad luck, Sean. But I'm happy.
Don't talk yourself down, mate, because that happens in the real world a fair bit as well, where you see a safety car come out and it can really affect someone's race, and we saw that tonight in sim racing. So we replicate the real world here at F3A, and it did just that tonight. So P2, man, let's talk about your race. You had a good fight there towards the end, and you held on. You just couldn't catch John in that last stage of the race.
Yeah, I had a lot of good battles. I was behind a few people, and I was very passive to a lot of fights. And I was wondering if it was the right strategy, but yeah, at the end, a couple guys became legends, and I stuck through for a second. So.
No, fantastic drive. We'll go to P3 before we go to our race winner. We'll do it a bit backwards tonight, but Lockie, good fight towards the end, mate. You made up 11 spots tonight, so you did a lot of overtaking out there. You also saw a lot of cars towards the end there stick it in the fence.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting actually, watching everyone pile into that corner. It was, like you said, it was kind of gifted. And then right at the end, I actually had Justin come past and overtake me before the last couple of corners, but on the finish line he hit the brakes. So I'm not sure if he just didn't want to come into the green room or what the situation was, but I was pretty lucky to be there. But yeah, I messed it all up at the start and just tried to fight back, and then just luckily, the circumstances put me on P3, which is great.
Fantastic job. Now we'll go across to John, our race winner tonight. Well done, man, and a dominant performance at the end. Good to see you on the top step of the podium.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I guess a bit lucky. Sean was super stiff. Safety car came out good for me. And yeah, he had to pit under green or under the safety car and basically go to the back of the line.
Yep.
So I was a bit worried about Kieran coming up behind because I knew he was quick, and I wasn't really that quick through qualifying and practice, but managed to look after the tyres in the race and didn't have any issues.
Yeah, it was good to watch that battle with Kieran. Unfortunately, he also made a few little mistakes there towards the end, but good racing all in all. The silver round tonight. John with the win, Gavin P2 and Lockie P3. Let's do some quick thank yous for your personal sponsors or any friends that are watching along. And then we're going to move over to the gold series. So who would you like to thank first of all, John, for the win tonight?
Well, mate of mine, Andrew Hayes, AHR Media, paints my cars, and I'm a big fan of the black and gold, and he does a great job, looks after some GT3 cars and stuff for me as well. So big thanks to Hazy, legend, and my teammate Brett. We do a bit of practice together and that, and yeah, good help. He's a bit quicker than I am generally, but good help to practice together, and that's about it really.
Great drive tonight, mate. And then Gavin, who would you like to thank for P2?
Shout out to Sandgroper Sim Racing, been racing them for a couple of years. I see Vincent's watching. Hello, Vincent. Thanks to the admins, the league sponsors, the broadcasters. And yeah, I'm at the end of COVID, so maybe that's the, thanks to COVID, maybe that's the key to me getting a podium.
COVID is not fun, I can tell you right now. Well done tonight, Gavin. You've done great, mate. And then finally, third place tonight, Lockie. Who would you like to thank?
Look, I'd just like to thank Brew and the team, Brian, Lockie, and anyone else. Also, I'd like to thank RaceKraft Simulations for sponsoring this. It's fantastic. And of course, just thank my two sponsors, Credits Accounting and Hydronic Inspirations. If you're ever in Canberra, look up both companies. They're great.
Awesome work tonight. All right, thanks, boys. That's your podium tonight. John Baldwin with the win, Gavin Ince P2, and Lockie Taylor P3. Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Righto, let's head across to the gold room now. So I've just got to go and do a little bit of housekeeping, change servers, all that sort of thing. Whilst we're doing that, we're going to watch this lap from Christopher Mitchell. Check this out. This is his fast lap that put him, we'll see where he's qualified shortly. Here he is.
the hell out of this broadcast because links.
Part 2 of the evening. We're about to get underway. F3A Gold Series. It is the big one tonight. 50-minute race. The drivers out on the track now. During their warm-up session, only a couple of minutes to go. This is qualifying results. And on pole position for tonight, Jaden Laddick. He leads the championships. And Benjamin Roberts, who's fighting him right to the end in the championship, start from P2. But look at the gap. Nearly 1 second back. Cameron Edwards, P3. Almost a second back as well. RaceKraft will start from 4th tonight with Lutzu, Bowden, Newton, Flock down there. We've got a couple of minutes. We're going to quickly try and jump in if we can with the boys at RaceKraft. So give me 1 second. I'm going to quickly flick over into their channel and I'll see if they're happy to have a real quick chat here. Chris, you got 1 second for us, buddy?
Yeah, mate. What's going on?
Mate, we're just loading in now, having a look at the times. Gee, it's quick at the front.
Yeah, it's super tight. I couldn't pull a lap out of my backside in qualifying, so I'm pushed a few rows further back than I would like to be. It's going to make for an interesting old race.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds, mate. You're off the pace there, but importantly for the top two, it's 1 second between first and second. Jaden Laddick's a machine, isn't he?
Yeah, that's kind of usual fare nowadays. We consider for first is not counted and second place is a win in this race.
Well, good luck tonight. We'll let you get set. You've got about 2 minutes to go. So good luck to all the RaceKraft boys tonight. We'll drop in the first safety car if we get one.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.
Very good, righto. Let's get ourselves muted there so they don't have to listen to me talking. As the drivers are just circulating around, like I said, about a minute and a half to go in this warm-up session. We'll get you some car noise shortly as well. And there it is. Looking forward to this tonight. Dave Roberts out there for Pace Syndicate. The final paint's just loading onto the cars as well. Let's hope Christopher Mitchell's is on the car because it wasn't before. The painters have been busy. There you go. So the paint's arrived on the car. Wazelle puts the fastest lap in this quick warm-up session, but wow, I still can't believe that 1 second out in front. That's mega. Right, a minute to go. I think I've got everything sorted. We'll go to the grid shortly, and let's enjoy this one. The big Gold Series penultimate round, 50 minutes. Who will win this one tonight? Will it be Laddick? Will it be Roberts? Will we get someone else up there on the podium? Lutzu maybe is due. Be back with you shortly. It's time to go racing. Let's put on, we've got 40 names to get through. Let's put on the RaceStars theme song and take you down to the grid. 40 drivers to kick off tonight's Gold Series penultimate round. And like I said, he is quicker than anything out there tonight, and he will start from pole position. It is the one and only Jaden Laddick on the front row with Benjamin Roberts. The title contenders start off the front row tonight with Cameron Edwards. Rob Crouch rounding out your top four. Gianni Lutzu will start from 5th tonight with Rob Bowden, Newton, Flock, Russell and Yeaman. Starting out of P10, good job Daniel Yeaman up in the top 10 again tonight. 11th Rewalt with Mitchell next to him. 13th on the grid, it's Broad with Dixon. Mazoka's down there in 15th with Malloy, Mabry, Clayton, Wazelle and Hardy, your top 20. Dave Roberts from 21st on the grid with Johnson, Knitska and Ryan to round out your top 24. 25th is Brett Barker. You'll have Kalen Arthur beside him with Barnes and Bradley behind. Then it's Ben Arthur and Brenton Hawkins to round out your top 30. Pocock starts from 31st on the grid with 32nd Crespo. Ramisi out of 33rd. Mickey Roebuck down there in 34th. Monday Schmallenberg. Timothy Schmallenberg 36th on the grid tonight. Nice qualifying with Jared Steen, Robbie Griffiths and Jack Mara. Lockie Capel in the safety car once again to keep things in check. The final drive is just loading in. getting themselves sorted on the grid. This is going to be huge tonight, I can tell you right now. 40 of the best drivers in the F3 cars. And Jaden Laddick, will he have that 1 second advantage when we're in race trim? He's shown his hand in qualifying, that's for sure. He's shown how quick he is. What can he do? What about Christopher Mitchell starting from P12? There's a bit of pressure on this guy to try and just get through turn 1. Remember, it was his stats that said there's a 99% chance of there being a big pile up at turn 1. Well, that's the look from Mitchell's car. You can see down the order, he's getting a little bit nervous. You can see 11 cars in front of him. And that is always a concerning thing when you've got so many cars to try and pass. And importantly, stay out of their way, because if the lead car drops it into turn 1, we could see a massive pile up. Here we go. We're getting set now. All the drivers on the grid. We're waiting for the green light to get underway for what will be our penultimate round of this F3A World Series. And how good has it been? Round 13 tonight, maybe an unlucky number for some. We go green. Good start at the front, pretty even. They got away well. The RaceKraft car of Lutzu got away well from the mid part of the top 10 as they head down towards the braking zone. We've got a few cars already dicing around, going wide through there as well. Looks pretty good. These guys well behaved. Oh, we got a spinner. Big spin and big crash. This will be a safety car to start this campaign, and unfortunately this will block the track. We've got huge blockage down here. Call the plumber. We're blocked. It's a massive crash, and there's 6 or 7 cars still trying to get untangled here. And who's that stuck together? They're not going anywhere. It's I think it's Mazoka and Shane Russell are interlocked. Now they get loose out the front. Laddick leads from Roberts. They've been able to continue on here. Edwards as well, third. Crouch, Bowden, Lutzu, and then Newton. Flock and Mitchell did get up a few spots. He's up 3 into the top 9 now. Christopher Mitchell getting away well. No damage on the car, that's what you want. He's next to Daniel Yeaman. Goes to the inside, which becomes the outside of the hairpin. We're looking at Mitchell's race cam. He goes to the inside. This is a little bit risky. He's also got Jay Dixon behind him. Good exit out of the corner though. And he goes wheel to wheel now. We're on board with Daniel Yeaman. You can see just beside him will be Christopher Mitchell. And wow, this is a good run down the back straightaway. We haven't had a call yet, I don't think, for the safety car, or have we? I think we're clear. I think we're going to stay green because those cars were quick enough to untangle themselves. Well, we're backed off here. We're backed off, so safety car boards and flags on lap 1 of this race. And Tyson Broad pits. Interesting. Can he get home from there? I'm sure it's going to be a long run to the end and a lot of fuel saving required, but he has stopped now and gone into the pits. We'll try and get a little bit of a listen in here with race control.
Toe now.
And he's been given permission to tow, as you can just see as the car went through. So we'll listen in with Rue at race control. So Broad will go to the lane. That'll just complicate our timing screen just for a moment. Like I said, Lockie Capel, for his 2nd time tonight, he's out there with the F3s doing what he has to do, and that's pile them all together. Now a heap of cars from 31st place down have stopped. I presume the majority of them will have damage, but it's a good time for us to head across and talk to the boys in RaceKraft. Well, chaotic start. Christopher Mitchell, you did say 99% chance of a safety car, and lap 1 it is found us.
Yeah, what I didn't send to you was 99.9% of chance of a safety car. It's practically guaranteed the way this track is and the way we get through turn 1. I'm surprised it didn't happen at turn 1, happened at turn 2, so a little bit further down the road than I thought. Good
start for you though. You jumped up a few positions there and you had to defend pretty hard as well. Daniel Yeaman just snuck through on you, which put you back to 11th, but at one point you're up in 9th there.
Yeah, it was a bit tight there with Daniel for a second, so kudos to him for, being able to run side by side and clean on cold tyres while we're, squirming around and all sorts of crazy stuff. But we'll move forward, see what we can do.
And the drivers that have stopped on lap 1, there's a couple of them that didn't have damage that decided to stop there. It's way too soon, right? They won't make it home?
No, you need to go to lap 11 on the green flag to make this work, so you're not going to be able to get any fuel in the car. Unless you got damage, there's not really a point.
That's it. Well, safety car coming in. I'll let you guys get back to the action. We'll talk to the other guys next time.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Right, let's get set. That was Christopher Mitchell for RaceKraft Simulations, and there's Jaden Laddick, like I said, leading this championship coming into this round. And
car number 1, please hold speed at 70 kilometers an hour.
So that's Rue from Race Control, Rue Koistra, who I always call him the maestro of this series. He's now just directing car number 1, Jaden Laddick, to hold his speed and make sure he doesn't nick off into the distance until they get the iRacing green flag. And hey, Will, how's that? Are we blocking these hackers tonight, or whatever they're called, the spammers on YouTube? They're back with true force. I've tried to block a few more.
Car number 1, you have control of the speed from here. Race
Righto.
start with car number 1 past the start-finish line. Please keep in mind you cannot overtake until you pass the start-finish line.
So that's Root Koister there, just saying well, what needs to be said, giving the instructions to the drivers. And look at the field of cars. This is full on, isn't it? The restart. It's going to be crucial. We know that safety cars can breed safety cars. We go back to green flag racing, and Laddick leads us down the pit straight and towards turn 1. We'll get a long shot at this. Check out the pinch point as they come down into the braking zone. I tell you what, they're quite spread out. They didn't really stick on the back there. I can see Lutzu in a little battle with Rob Bowden, I think, who just got through on him. We look back further then, there's Christopher Mitchell and Daniel Yeaman, Jake Dixon behind them, but this battle with Bowden and Lutzu. Lutzu look down the inside again, Bowden sweeps through, holds on to that 5th position. Lutzu very, very close for a minute there, and he's got to now watch his back because Scott Newton is having a look and a fight as Lutzu has a big shot there on Bowden. Doesn't work. He's going to try probably the next one as well, and he'll have another go. So let's jump onto the race camera here with Gianni. Look at the concentration as he talks to his teammates, and he's watching the mirrors as well for Newton. He needs to try and get the elbows nice and sharp and wide whilst trying to attack Rob Bowden. Bowden's nabbed him one as well. Sebastian Flock goes through on Newton, who ran a little bit wide, I think, out of the chicane. We'll stay here with Gianni though as he looks to the inside. No, he doesn't. He just holds station, probably looking now for a good exit out of the hairpin and a slipstream down the back straight away. Meanwhile, in front, Cameron Edwards is also battling well here with Rob Crouch. The top 2 stretching away now. Still 7/10 covering Laddick and Roberts. We've seen these guys fight right throughout the season, and we're going to get it again tonight. It's going to come down to the wire, this championship. If Laddick wins tonight, you probably put your money on him to win the series, but 50 or so points in it. There's still a long, long way to go. You get a shot from the tree camera, chopper camera, through the trees tonight. It's so hard to get an overhead shot with the trees here at this circuit, but you can see the gap. The top 2 have already pulled over 3rd and 4th. It's around 2.5 seconds on the restart lap. Flat chat they go. Back in the pack a little bit. There's good battles. There's a big one down with Dave Roberts, Leith Hardy as well, and then Mabry and Will Ryan. There's Will Ryan. How close to the fence was that? The Pace Syndicate Zulu driver absolutely took a coat of paint off the fence and probably took a little bit of the rubber off his tyres as well. He's ahead of Mabry, Hardy, then Roberts, Barker, Broads there as well with Brenton Hawkins. Hawkins at the moment 21st place. Pocock, Griffiths, Mara, then Mickey Rubok, who's in 9th place. Sorry, in 25th place. He's made up 9 positions. Rubok did well to just avoid that opening carnage and runs in 25th. There's a few drivers. Jack Mara's another one as he challenges Robbie Griffith. He's made up 15 spots. Robbie up 15 as well. And look out, they're going to attack Pocock. Pocock into the braking zone. He gets away with it just. Scotty Pocock, the 444, gets a good exit out of the hairpin and sends it off down the back straightaway. Back with this battle, Yeaman. And he goes wheel to wheel with Mitchell again. How good's this fight between some wily characters? Daniel Yeaman, P9, up 1 position. Christopher Mitchell up 2 into 10th. This isn't over yet between these two, that's for sure, as Jay Dixon puts some pressure now onto the back of Chris Mitchell. Can't get through though. Let's ride on board here with Jay Dixon. Wow. Tight racing. That's what we came here to see tonight. You usually expect it with the Gold Series. They've been remarkably clean. Oh, look at the big snap of oversteer in the mid-corner for Chris Mitchell, and he somehow hung onto it. It's incredible to watch the reaction times of these drivers, and they are a step above the rest when you see how clean they can race wheel to wheel. In a very difficult car to get a handle on around a street circuit like this, as Cameron Edwards tucks in, and Edwards, Crouch, Bowden, Lutzu, Newton, Flock, Yeaman and Mitchell rounding out your top 10. They cannot get anywhere near the lap times at the moment of Jaden Laddick and Benjamin Roberts. A 1:30.5 for Laddick last time around. He's disappearing off into the sunset here today. Tank SRT in the house, hello to them. Ram Mac as well, saying go Benny. Some good news today in the world of RaceStars TV. Sports Sedan's coming back for a new series. All Aussie tracks as well. I can't wait. So it'd be great to have them back on board after a little hiatus. As Edwards now fights with Crouch, and Bowden's there as well. Let's jump on board with Bowden. They're 3 wide into the braking zone for 1. This could get a little bit risky, and they all get through. Do they? Yep, that helps Lutsu now get back into this battle as well. On board with Gianni. He can see the 3 in front of him. He can almost see a podium. Oh, he was late on the brakes there. You had to just get out of it. He looks down. Oh, it's his dog. You see the puppy dog. He's jumping in there trying to get his attention. Look at it, he's chewing at his arm. Gianni's trying to race here. Look in the mirror at the back. The puppy dog's going, hey. He's telling him, hey, sit down, boy. I'm racing here. That's classic. Have you ever seen that at sim racing? The dog wants to get involved. Love it. As Gianni holds on to 6th place and Rob Bowden P5. I've got to lock my door out of the broadcast booth, unfortunately. He likes to give the odd little howl midway through a broadcast, so sadly old Buey has to sit down on the couch for a couple of hours each night as we see Rob Crouch, P3, holding off this battle behind. It is mega, isn't it? So Crouch, Edwards, Bowden, Lutsu and Newton, all covered by just under a second. That's how close it is. Look at Bowden now, attacking in the background, trying to get through the run down towards the wall of champions. Who's it going to be? Into the braking zone they go. Oh wow, they hold on. No one hits the fence so far. I don't think we've seen anyone in the barrier there yet tonight, from the gold server at least. But I don't want to speak too soon. Cameron Edwards hangs on at the front of this pack. Meanwhile, right out in front, Laddick's got a 2.5 second gap now back to Roberts. So he's just continuing to disappear off into the distance. And I've just noticed on the timing screen, Daniel Yeaman has fallen back to 13th place. Mitchell goes up into P8. So it's shifting around. On board with Chris Mitchell as he just hones in on the back of Scott Newton. Just watch the way he's working this car. He adjusts the glasses. His focus has to be 100% now into under the bridge, into this hairpin, into this chicane. The exit, if you get that wrong, you're in the fence. And the run now to the hairpin is so important. You'll see him slipstream the car in front, Crouch and Newton, and then he'll just try and work hard on the brakes and work for the best exit he can. He'll go the inside here. He might even get through. If he can get a good launch out of here, no, Newton got good traction. And off he goes into the distance.
And by 18.
18 in trouble. That's Barker, isn't it? So let's have a look. He's in the fence. Big crash. Could be a safety car. So listening in for race control.
Good there, mate. You can tow.
Been given permission to tow, so he's out of harm's way. They'll let him go back and tow that to the pits. So no second safety car required. Roberts pits now from lap 8. So this is pit window open. Oh, there's a damaged car right there. Let's see if we can pause that camera. Look at that. So damaged car, just trying to limp back to the pits. It needs to try and cross what is a very fast part of the racetrack with all the cars sweeping across his nose. And that's a nasty spot to be in. Oh, so someone went straight there. The DFR car has lost it. This is an opportunity now, as I do a bit of manual camera work here. I'm going to lose him. But there you go. I'm trying to see who that was. Was it Malloy or was it Arthur? No idea. They're into the pits so finally. So look at the damage. Brett Barker, he's out of the race as well. So 5-second penalty. Sebastian Flock for not calling limping on lap 6.
You will get a 5-second penalty for not calling limping on lap 6.
So that's race control. So the drivers, if they're broken and they're trying to limp back to the pits, they have to call out on their race comms and let the other drivers know. Failure to do so, 5-second penalty. So we've just seen that handed out from race control. And once again, it's all part of the rule book. This series has a rule book which is ultra professional and massive as well. I had a look through it. I flicked through the PDF. It's incredible. It looks like you're actually in an F1 event. It is that professional. So very well run series, and all the drivers hopefully have done their homework and read the rules. 3.1 seconds now, Laddick over Roberts. The battle behind is still mega, and Gianni has got himself now up into a podium position for RaceKraft simulation, so he'll be happy with that. He's finally got rid of the dog that was gnawing at his shoulder, and he can set about trying to catch Roberts. That margin is 8 seconds. Second back to third. Oh, sight, look at the big lock up there from the 171 into the corner. That was Cameron Edwards almost into the back of Gianni Lutsu, and that's released Rob Bowden to have a shot at Edwards. Into the braking zone he goes, doesn't get through. Late on the brakes, Cameron Edwards. I tell you what, he was almost too late on the brakes the lap before. Send it SimSports, Cameron Edwards in the thick of things tonight. Tyson Broad stopped on lap 1. He's back in 15th place. No, I don't think there's any chance he can get to the end of the race. He needed probably 2-3 more safety cars as Mitchell overtakes Crouch here. Crouch gets a fantastic exit though and gets back alongside down this big long drag strip. Jacob Neasley shouting out for go Benny Roberts, he says. As they go wheel to wheel contact and in the fence, Mitchell in the fence. Can you believe it? And he's not happy. He's not happy because that is broken. Mitchell out of the race. And could be a safety car here. So look at this as the car's trying to avoid him. Christopher Mitchell, he's been hit very hard through there. We'll get you a replay shortly.
Stand by, too.
And he's been asked to stand by. I'm sure this will be a safety car because that's in a dangerous position. And we won't. We'll give him a little bit of time here before we go and have a chat. But let's have a look at a replay on that one.
Safety car there, boys.
As
both passing.
I think someone's just gone straight past another competitor.
Keep moving, guys. Keep moving.
Let's have a quick look at that replay now. This was
Race pace, everybody.
Chris Mitchell. So down into the chicane. We'll slow this down. He's not happy at all. Slow it down there. So Mitchell had the inside line. The DFR car on the outside comes across now. Oh, how are they deemed that one? That's so hard because it's neck and neck through there. Unfortunately, Mitchell into the fence. Big accident and damages the car, puts him out of the race. But he did have the inside line. He's got basically a nose cone ahead there at that point. They go in wheel to wheel. What could he have done there?
8-2, you can tow down.
The trajectory to the fence is always going to happen when you head 2 cars into there, and the leaders are pitting as well, by the way. So unlucky for Mitchell. Let's have a look at that from visor cam. Give you an indication of what it felt like from his driver's seat. So that's not ideal. Let's try and get that lined up. There we are. So this is him into the corner. You can see the car beside, and then he'll get the contact through there, up on 2 wheels, into the fence, and big damage from Mitchell. Look at that broken suspension and not going any further in the race. So there's your replay. Sadly for him, it's going to be a long race back into this. He'll go back to the pits. He'll lose a lap here as we see Laddick stopped on lap 10, took 4.5 seconds worth of fuel. So he's taking fuel now to the end of the race. They'll save as much as they can through this portion of the race too. So it's still Roberts in P2, Gianni Lutsu in P3, Bowden, Edwards, Newton, Barnes, Rewalt, Schmallenberg, Crouch. Timothy Schmallenberg has not stopped, but puts himself up inside the top 10 after elevating from silver round last week into gold. He's up 27 spots into 9th. It's a little bit artificial because he has not stopped, but incredible job he's doing tonight for that team. So, thanks, Will. You've got it now. You've unblocked them, and now you can actually report them. I don't know why YouTube don't crack down on it. It's on everyone's broadcast, and I'm a one-man show here. It's so hard to try and police
What the
the
hell are you
YouTube chat whilst it's going on. So there's enough going on the racetrack, as we can hear
Right, yeah.
Drew Coaster, I think, chatting there to Russell as Lachlan Capel, driving the safety car, once again has the pleasure of having some of the fastest sim racers right behind him. So Laddick leads, stopped on lap 10, took 4.5 seconds worth of fuel, 4.6 seconds for Roberts. He took a little bit extra, the Mini Muscle Cars Machine Colt, number 37, there he is. Then Gianni took 4.8, so
Everyone else
a little bit more fuel than Laddick. Now, hopefully he's put enough in the car. It will be tight at the end. Rob Bowden took 4.2, so he didn't take much at all. But Laddick out in front. Back with you in 20 seconds. Check this out.
all lap cars may now lap themselves.
Massive thanks to RaceKraft for sponsoring this series and a good chance to show one of their sim rigs there. They do a great job. The safety car's staying out for another lap. Now, I was just watching, was that Christopher Mitchell unlapping himself? I did see one of the RaceKraft cars fly through, and Mitchell, let's have a look. Is he down a lap? He's not. He's back on the lead lap. So Mitchell will go as quickly as he can now to try and catch the back of the pack. It's a fair way. It's about a minute around the racetrack at the slow speed that they're doing. So he'll go flat out though, and at least he'll get himself in an opportunity to maybe sneak back and get some points. So good luck. It's going to be a long night though for him. A couple of other things I want to mention. The VRS competition. Make sure you go and enter tonight's code word Moose, MOOSE. We're going to draw the winner for that $99 US package next week. So go and get yourself logged in, and the link's in the description. Tonight's code word is Moose. Hey, we've got to check out Mickey tonight. Say hello. Flick over to Mickey, who's in the house, saying hello. Hello. Give us a wave. And back there tonight, 34th place. Started 34th and did very well to avoid that incident at the start. Now he's got a lot of work to do to progress forward. It's going to have Johnson, Russell and Barker behind as well. Good luck, Mickey, for the rest of the race. Go kill him out there. It's hard in a field of this many cars, 38 competitors, to try and now get your way through. Green soon, says Race Control. The safety car should speed up now. Let's keep an eye on this.
Car number 1, please hold speed at 70.
Mickey's a crowd favourite by the sounds of it. Keep spamming the Mickey. We'll get Mickey back on screen during this race. It's often easy for me to forget because Mickey's in a different room to the RaceKraft guys, so I don't generally see all their cameras. I've got to flick between rooms. But yeah, very popular competitor. And out there, ready to do battle for this, what is, I guess, the second half of the race now. Part 1 is done. The safety cars are done. The only driver not to come into the pits, P8, Schmallenberg. Let's have a quick look now at the pit strategy. You can see it's all pretty even Steven at the front. Schmallenberg in 8th has not stopped. Crespo down in 12th stopped on the opening lap, as did Broad. I think those drivers are going to struggle to get through without at least another pit stop. Mickey's pit crew in the house. Woohoo! Let's get set to go racing here. So we're just watching a bit of weaving going on here from Laddick. He'll hold the pack back, and when he's ready to go, which he is now, we get the green light. We're back to race conditions. Lap 13, 23 minutes into this F3A gold race for round number 13. And Lutzu in P3 straight away onto the pace. Has Bowden behind. Schmallenberg, who hasn't stopped, will be feeling this pressure inside the top 10. Elevated from silver to the gold series and flying the flag here for JWM right up there. Up against fast competitors. I'm looking at the lap times there. The fastest lap for Tim tonight, a 1:32.4. That's about a second under what the drivers around Wazell being one of them as Rob Crouch goes through. And then, oh, that was close. So Crouch gets through, then almost gets a little tap as we head down towards the next little chicane back in the pack. It is so tight out there. This many cars. Look at Yeaman fighting his way back now. He's up against Mabry. And Mabry on the inside. Yeaman goes to the outside. So close between them. Yeaman gets through like a hot knife through butter. Daniel Yeaman up to 19th now. Chasing after Barnes. Pocock's just behind this little pack as well. Then Mazoka, Griffiths, Mara, Ramisi back in 25th place, battling with John Monday's just behind. Then Arthur and Bradley nose to tail. So it's so close down the order, but at the front, here it is. Jaden Laddick out in front, leading by 1.2 seconds. He pulled on that opening lap. Roberts is just hitting his numbers, I think. He knows what he has to do to the end of this race. He's got to heat Lutzu and Bowden out as well. They're going to be fast towards the end, these two. Look at them already battling here. And at 1 minute 30.39 was the time that Laddick just did on that restart lap. That's absolutely incredible. Oh, I just heard, I thought I heard an impact there. There was definitely a noise. I'm wondering if that was just an iRacing glitch, because it was definitely, it sounded like a car hitting the wall. I think it was just a glitch, or it might have even just been the underfloor of the car hitting the curb. That's crazy. Thanks Motorsport Magpie as well. Make sure you subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. We've got plenty of coverage coming up with different events. RaceStars TV, there's so much happening. The sports hands are coming back. We've got VA Veterans Thursday, Fridays. It's great to have you in the house, and it's great to get to know our regulars. Of course, I try and do as many shout-outs as I can here on RaceStars TV. Vaughn's in the house as well. Hello, Vaughn Brewer. Nice to have you here, man. Hope you're well. It's good to see some names popping up that have been here from the get-goers who watched Laddick continue disappearing off. James Rewalt's impressed. Let's have a look now as he fights with Cameron Edwards. I think he might have got this job done too. Into the braking and contact between them. Edwards goes flying, and Edwards into the wall, and a big hit for them. Edwards came out second best, and how about the onboard there? Told the story. We might have to have another look at that one though. I wonder if Race Control might get a little bit of a call, and they have been summoned. So check out the replay bottom of your screen. We'll go and have a look at a full screen replay as well. But they got neck and neck down the straightaway, and then all of a sudden, and they got into the braking zone. They got close, and then they tangled wheels. F3 cars do not like tangling wheels. Let's have a look at that on the big screen replay. So we'll jump on to a slow-mo here with Edwards first of all. So this is into the, there it was. So that's probably not the view we're going to see. That view there is a little bit better, and he got sent skybound as well. Let's just back that up a little bit. So here it was, into the braking zone. Did he move across? That's what the stewards will have a look at. Might be a bit of net code in there as well. And look at that, up in the air. And Edwards unfortunately drives back. We've got a 10-second penalty. Ben Arthur there causing an incident on lap 14. So he's been sent his marching orders as well. Steve, thanks for the stars, man. Appreciate it. As Rewalt here continues to battle. This is with now Chris Wazell and James Rewalt on the charge. Both of these drivers are on the charge. In fact, it's 5 spots for Rewalt, 12 for Wazell. As he moves himself now inside the top 7. Battle on, 27, now 28 minutes into the race. Still a long, long way to go. And as we've seen week after week in this series, anything can happen. With still 20 or so minutes to go, we've seen races won and lost. We've seen heartbreak as well. Some drivers run out of fuel, late crashes, safety cars that come out at the end. It's not over at all. 1.8 seconds covering the top 2 though. It looks like Ben Roberts just can't match that ultimate speed. Lutzu and Rob Bowden. Let's jump in with Rob Bowden for a moment here. Just watch this as he tries to find a way through on Lutzu. So he'll just duck out of the toe there, back into it, into the braking zone. like I've said a few times tonight, it's just all about the exit now out of the hairpin. No wheel spin. Opens the arms, opens the corner as he gets the power down, and then back into the slipstream again. Checking his mirrors, you can see in the background Scott Newton. He's there, isn't he, or thereabouts. Now he closes up at the end of the straightaway. The slipstream strong. Pulls out of the slipstream. Thought about having a go, but I think he was more just getting into the wing mirrors of Lutsu, letting him know he's there. And yeah, this is great to watch. Into the braking zone they go again. Surely Bowden is going to have a shot here eventually. He looks like he's all over the back of Lutsu, and Lutsu just struggling a little bit to pull away. There's Lutsu. How does he look? Pretty calm. Once again checking his mirrors. I love the way he looks to the apex there. Nails it as well. Good corner exit. Carried a lot of speed. He pulled about a car length through that corner. That was fantastic. So Laddick still 1 minute 30. He is just rattling off the 1 minute 30s. Lap after lap. Look at him. So he's done a 130.3, a 130.4, a 130.4 and a 130.5. And I think we're back under a full course caution. So just trying to find out who's crashed here. Definitely a safety car out on the track. So trying to find a damaged car. There it is. So it's Jack Mara in the fence and all busted.
Number 1 goes past.
Dear me. See if we can find the replay on this one. So Jack Mara, I wonder if he's got together with someone else at the final corner. Here we go. Replay.
Nice looking canoe you got there.
Race controller said, nice looking canoe you got there. Big crash. So there was another car involved, I think. Mara turns in, gets up on the curb, does he? Oh, he gets hit from behind. So he gets tagged there, and then he's going to get sent into the fence. Bang. Big impact. And let's ride on board with that one with Jack Mara, Visacam. That's what it felt like from the driver's perspective. So he was wheel to wheel, and I reckon that car's going to get a little bit of a penalty. So he had to get out of the throttle there, and then he gets hit from behind, and then hello, into the fence. Big hit into the fence, and that is disappointing. And the steering broke and the wheels off the car. Race over. So we're waiting here from race control, but Jack obviously has retired to the pits as we're under our next caution. Full course safety car again. Laddick out in front. Roberts, Lutsu. This will give a chance for Schmallenberg to pit. Or has he already pitted? He has already pitted. Bit of fun and games going on here. I'm not sure if that's a replay bug or if that's actually Jaden Laddick trying to use a little bit of fuel up. What do you reckon? He's definitely revving that car. I've heard of guys trying to use a bit of fuel if they've overfueled. Remember, he took 4.57 seconds worth of fuel in that main pit stop. Thanks, Motorsport Magpie. Yeah, I'm 100% solo. And I am thinking of trying to get some help because it's crazy the workload, but it's worked, I guess, till now. We're doing the Pro Series the other night. It was so much fun. But it is much harder doing balancing audios when you've got, I think, people that aren't in the room with you. So yeah, it's much easier just one computer. As our spam has come back again. It's a Laddick feature, says Sam Katakazinas, and Laddick is, well, he's gonna have to do it all over again. He keeps pulling out these huge margins, and then he gets a safety car and has to back right back again. So try and block these spammers. The bot girls are back. Just don't click the links. Whatever you do, your computer will blow up and turn into to dust.
Car number 1, please hold the speed.
So a quick word with Chris Mitchell. We'll have a quick word about that crash. He's got to be heartbroken, man. It was a tough end to your race. Well, it's not over, but it's put you right out of the points positions.
Yeah, some very choice words said there. I mean, we're racing with those guys for the team's championship too, so it's not a good look for us to be banging into each other like that, but I'll wait until I look at the replay before I make a proper reservation about it. I just got to try and fight through and see if I can pick up some points now.
Yeah, 25th, man. It's a long way to go. Well, it's still, what, 16 minutes to go. Could get more safety cars. It's so tight out there. I mean, is it hard to overtake here with this many cars?
Yeah, it's really tough to pass, so you just got to pick your moments. But I was lucky I got onto the back of the field in P38 as we went green, so I had the ability to car through a few.
Yeah, we covered that, man. You did well to catch back up. So we'll let you get back at it. And also Gianni up there. How you feeling, man? P3. Hey, we saw the dog nibbling at your shirt back there. That was quite impressive.
I had to give her a bit of a push away because she was a bit annoying. But, yeah, no, we're about to go into green now. So
I'll let you go, boys. Good luck. Yep. So try not to interrupt them there, but they're back to green racing, and hopefully I didn't catch him out there. Oh, dearie me. We go green though. Oh, Lutz is under pressure as well. He's got Rob Bowden really giving him another challenge. He has all night. Rob's right there with him. And from the get-goes, we get a drive-through penalty for Mazoka for causing an incident on lap 16. I think that was the one with Jack Mara. I'm pretty sure that was the other car involved. And I'd say that's why he's getting a drive-through penalty. So good to talk to the RaceKraft crew as they continue to fight on here. And the crowd favourite tonight, Rubok back in 37th position. We'll get Mickey back up on the screen. 37th behind Ben Arthur at the moment, challenging on. So for all the Mickey fans in the house, give us a shout out. Mickey Rubok currently 37th, Ben Arthur 36th, and Shane Russell, Cameron Edwards ahead, and then Jared Steen back there as well. So into the braking zone. You still got to think about that silver race, the heartache for Mickey, but then also the redemption with a great podium the week after. So it's been an up and down series, but great drive down the inside, has a little bit of a look, crosses the arms and exits the corner well. Ben Arthur displaced, another spot up, so Mickey now up into 36. Well done, great overtake. Righto, we've got some action up ahead as into the lane. Mazoka now in for his drive-through penalty. The fastest lap of the race, none other than Jaden Laddick. Just does a 30.35, continues to knock those laps out of the park. And Roberts a 30.67. Pretty good. And you got Lutzu, third place, still ahead of Bowden, Newton, Wazell, Broad, Rewalt, Crouch, and Jay Dixon on the back of the top 10. Then it's Crespo and Kanitska. And Daniel Yeaman, who was up there in the top 10 earlier on in the race, now finds himself 13th. The Drop Bear Motorsport Beyond Blue entrance. So the blue coloured car used to be red, they've gone to blue. They've raised over $500 for Beyond Blue, and I told him on the broadcast the other night for ASCC, Australian Sports Car Championship, that we're going to donate some money as well at the final round of that championship. So we're going to chuck some money in the kitty towards Beyond Blue. It's such a great cause, and the Drop Air team should be well commended for their support and getting some money to hopefully save some lives out there. Bowden ahead of Lutzu for the moment anyway, into the braking zone they go, and he does sweep across. So Bowden into the podium position now, P3 with just on 12 minutes to go. Rob Bowden, oh, and look at Lutzu coming back at him. So down towards turn one, side by side. Newton's having a look in the background as well, and around the outside Bowden will try and do this. Lutzu will do his best to hang on. How good is this racing? And Rob Bowden, who's got a world of real-world driving experience as well, he'll be using every inch of that right now to try and hold out Gianni Lutzu. Let's jump back on board with Gianni as he chases Bowden, all the while keeping an eye at Scott Newton right behind him. So the onboard looking forward, then looking back, you can see just over his shoulder, that's Scotty Newton. Then Tyson Broad also staying in touch. Wazell, Rewalt, Crouch and Dixon. This little battle pack now, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, covered by less than a second and a half. And they are on it. Rob Bowden is starting to pull away slightly though. Great drive. Jay Dixon further back in the pack. There he is. And look at this, Kanitska and Crespo. There's a battle here. Yeaman has a look to the inside. Daniel Yeaman goes through on Crespo. Gets a good exit. Now he can get on after Kanitska. A big run down the back straightaway with 11 minutes to go. Have we got contact? I don't think so. Wazell was on the radio then. couple of drivers just getting a little bit chatty towards the end. Malloy's on there as well. I thought for a second maybe they'd got together, but no. Bowden goes through P3, up 3 spots in the race. Wazell's up 12 into the top 7. Great driver, new fastest lap of the race, a 1:30.1. He continues to just knock them out of the park lap after lap. Can you believe it? Daniel Yeaman on Kaniska now. Goes wheel to wheel. Yeaman around the outside, locks a brake. Kaniska did as well. He got a good exit, did Marcus out of there. Stays ahead of Yeaman for now, but I think Yeaman's probably carrying a little bit more lap speed at this stage of the race. Kaniska's got to be careful not to overdrive this and put it in the fence. So easy to knock a wheel or knock a wing off in these F3 cars. Just as I say that though, he pulls out about a 3 or 4 car length lead over Daniel Yeaman, which brings Dave Roberts back into the play as well. Will Ryan then behind him. Your race leader, the gap 1 second. Back to Benjamin Roberts. Looking forward to see Benjamin go head to head in the Sports Sedan Series when it relaunches next month. It's going to be mega. I've missed those guys. I'm sure Rand's not still watching, but I have to tell him I have really missed it. So they were a staple of RaceStars TV from the day dot when we kicked this off back in April 2020. Now we're May 2022. 2 years later, 567 broadcasts in. Some would say, Luke, you need to get a life. Sometimes it feels like that. Podium P3, Lutzu, Newton and Broad. This little battle for the final podium position is going to go down to the wire into the final 10 minutes now as Mabry goes wheel to wheel with Pocock. And, a little bit awkward out of there. Andrew Johnson gets a good look at them. On board with Johnson now. They're going to go 3 wide, are they? Johnson thinks about it, then he backs out. Probably a wise thing to do. Makes himself a bit vulnerable, though, to Reese Clayton, who has a look and can't get through. And now he sweeps around the outside. That also makes Brett Barker think about maybe having a run on Clayton. I love the way they compress, like a slinky, the way they compress into the corner, and then drivers think, right, I might have a shot here, and they go for the pass. Sometimes it's not on, sometimes it is, sometimes they have a crash, sometimes they make it stick. That's all part of this racing category. As Tyson Broad, P6, we've still got 36 drivers out there on the racetrack. Ben Arthur, I think, is retired. Jack Mara out of the race as well. Sebastian Flock has rejoined in 38th place. Gap 1.2 out in front, and it's just stabilized a little bit now with 8 minutes to go. I wonder if Lutzu's got anything left in the tank, or is he running to a fuel number that just means he can't push, he can't chase Bowden down. Scott Newton as well for Apex Racing Academy. What's he got? What can he do? Can he get himself a podium tonight? He's got some fast competitors in front. Behind, he's got Tyson Broad, Chris Wazell ready to pounce as well. Let's jump on board through this part with Scott Newton. So fast, isn't it? This left-hander in particular, getting this right. It's off camber, and then you can easily get sucked out into the fence through the right. In the mirrors, you can see Tyson Broad, how close he is, getting closer and closer. The stress level that gives you when you're in the racing seat is incredible. Now, through the second chicane, basically use the bridge as a little bit of a braking marker. Now down towards the turn 10 hairpin. Late on the brakes, there's a lock up there for Bowden. Contact! Oh dearie me, contact there, and it was Lutzu that got sent around, was it? I think it was. Gianni's been sent around, and he's back now in 14th place, and he will call out to race control shortly, I'm sure.
Race control is on that 24, car 58, and the F in the back there. Copy 58.
So, super unlucky. We'll stay with a replay here, so let's check this out. This was the onboard we're looking at the time, and then This is where the impact happens. So they all closed up, and there's just the slightest of touch there. Newton will probably cop a drive-through penalty for that one as we watch Jaden Laddick out in front, continuing just to dominate this race tonight. Lap 25 of this 50-minute time-certain event. So that puts Newton up into 5th, Broad 4th, Bowden now a pretty secure P3. The gap back to Tyson Broad, 2.2 seconds. You're probably predicting here that Scotty Newton will get a drive-through which will knock him out of the top 5. That'll bring Chris Wazell up into the top 5. Up 13 spots now. He'll be up 14 by the time the checker drops, unless James Rewalt can do something about that, because James is there or thereabouts. And so unlucky for Gianni again. There you go, drive-through penalty. Scott Newton causing an incident on lap 24.
17, on lap
24. So it's a bit of a slam dunk penalty, that one, sadly, and Scott will serve it straight away. He drives through the lane, and not much you can do there. It's just the slightest misjudgment, and turn the car around, and as soon as you do that, sadly, it's a drive through and a trip to the stewards after the race. So it's a long, it feels like an eternity when you've got to trundle through the pit lane at limited speed, come back out, I think around 16th place, 17th place, just behind Chris Barnes. So that's how costly that was. So Wazell up into 5th now, and on the back of Tyson Broad. James Rewalt's not too far behind, but I'm interested in seeing how Daniel Yeaman is going. P10, just behind Jake Dixon, the DFR Team Blue competitor. Nice job. And Yeaman has just been closing the margin down. He's looking like he's ready to pounce Daniel. Here he goes. He backs out of the throttle, saves a little bit more fuel. Dixon, love that helmet. Currently P9. Marcus Knitska. Just came across Marcus doing the Dirt Speedway for Pace Syndicate, and he's 15 spots up tonight, inside the top 10, 8th place as Yeaman does go down the inside and gets the job done on Dixon. Nice overtake. Kaylin Arthur in the background as well with Ramisi there, and Christian gets through up into 21st now as they challenge down the order. Jake Dixon's coming back at Yeaman, so this is on between these two. Yeaman, though, does succeed and gets back through, holds on to 9th place. I reckon they're going to fight it out to the end, those two. Will Ryan's then just in behind Jay and Dave Roberts on the back of them as well. We're right on board with Will Ryan for Pace Syndicate. Turn 1 into turn 2. And then flat on the throttle down towards this tricky first chicane. Gianni Lutsu back here chasing down Sean Malloy. He goes down the inside, goes wheel to wheel, right out towards the fence. Hold your breath as he almost gets the fence there. Excuse the French there, as Gianni almost gets the fence, and I think a choice word there of how close he was to hitting that barrier. A recovery drive for him now, back into 14th place. Both RaceKraft entries tonight up the top. The two contenders for a podium unfortunately ended up with incidents that see them pushed out of the top 10. Christopher Mitchell, by the way, is fought his way back to 17th. So all in all, that's a pretty decent recoveries with Chris Barnes 17th and 18th. But considering he was in the fence at the Wall of Champions and had to eject to the pits, then get his lap back, that's a recovery and a half. Robbie Griffiths just behind there as well. Fishy Motorsports ahead of John Monday to round out your top 20. 2 minutes to go. Jaden Laddick will have to do 2 more laps. So is the pace of this guy, and well, have they put enough fuel in the car for the extra lap? 4.57 seconds of fuel went in. He just brushed the wall. Laddick's just brushed the wall then. Has that done some damage? Incredible to be pushing that hard. I just want to have a look here at this rear suspension. I think it's okay. But Jaden pushing to the absolute extreme. Could have head-butted his race right in the head there. But he's alright. Do the front brakes ever actually cool, or do they glow constantly, says Carl. Around a circle like this, I'm pretty sure they're just glowing constantly, but they do cool off. Red hot there, but we'll try and get a side picture for you just to show that they do eventually cool off. There you go, they've cooled off already. Zelatic coming towards us. Roberts in tow. Check the speed. There goes Roberts, then it's Daylight. 7.3 seconds from the leader back to P3. Rob Bowden will get the white flag as he comes through, slides it into the final chicane and crosses the line. 1 to go. Will Ryan and Dixon, I think, redressing a position there. We just heard him say sorry. Dave Roberts is there as well. So Dave Roberts in 11th, now 10th as he gets through on Jay Dixon down the inside. Nice job. Dixon all over the back of him though. Pace Syndicate versus DFR versus Pace Syndicate. At the moment, Jay Dixon's in a Pace Syndicate sandwich. Not for long though, so we've got a crash back down the order. Big crash at the Wall of Champions. And it's, I think, it's not Barker or Edwards again. No, it's not. We missed it. It all happened too fast, but a crash down there. We're on the final lap of the race. 50 minutes has now come and gone. And Jaden Laddick with a 2.9 second lead is going to continue his form in this series and continue to head towards what will be his championship with 1 round still to go. I think it was Brenton Hawkins, in fact, that crashed at the chicane. Oh, he's crashed down at turn 1 as well. We're going to check that though. Laddick goes down the back straight for the final time with Roberts in tow. 3.5 now. I reckon Roberts may be close to out of fuel. Just looking at that pace, I wonder if he's spluttering. Definitely not full throttle there. But Jaden Laddick will come through to take the checker flag. Round number 13 of this F3A World Series goes the way of Jaden Laddick. What a performance tonight. He's been absolutely superb. And he takes the win ahead of Benjamin Roberts, P2. Rob Bowden, he's happy with that. He's on the podium. Bowden gets 3rd. Excellent job. Tyson Broad, 4th. There's a massive crash in the back play there. Wowee. These drivers are going to go through. Oh, I couldn't see it there. There was definitely a huge cloud of smoke. Unless it's just up, maybe it was just these guys going a little bit crazy up from the line, but massive cloud of smoke. As we see Crouch get 7th, Konitska, then Yeaman into the top 10. Jay Dixon got 10th. Roberts, Will Ryan got 12th ahead of Hardy. Lutzer ended up 14th ahead of Scott Newton. We got back to 15th, even with the drive-through penalty. Christopher Mitchell ends up 16th ahead of Barnes, Monday Griffiths, and Arthur, your top 10. What a race. That had a bit of everything. We'll have a time to chat to the drivers in a second as we wrap it all up here on RaceStars TV for what is round number 13 of this hectic series. 1 still to go. Looking forward to that. Race results up on the screen now. Jaden Laddick, your winner by 4 seconds in the end. But if you put together all the seconds he had from those safety cars as well, it was a massive victory. Benjamin Roberts, P2, 2nd in the championship, continues that fight and continues it at least stay alive till the final race. And then it was Rob Bowden on the podium tonight ahead of Tyson Broad, Wazell, running at your top 5. Wow, hey, what a race. I'm exhausted. We'll go and have a chat to the drivers. Now we'll see if they've rocked up in the broadcast booth. Jaden Laddick's in the house. We'll get our race winner across for a chat first of all. Jaden, mate, well done tonight. You had to do it about 3 times with the safety cars, but each time you could pull out a big margin there and just knocking those laps out of the park, one after the other. 1 minute 30 consistently. Well done tonight, man.
Yeah, it was a bit of a hard race, to be honest. My tyres were kind of going off. You may have seen me hit the wall maybe once or twice.
I did.
Yeah, and then yeah, the safety cars. I just had to make a new starting position, so it wasn't predictable every time. But yeah, we got it done in the end, so it's good.
Yeah, great racing, mate. I think it was through turn 4, just through the chicane there, clipping the wall with a couple of laps to go. That is pushing it to the limit.
Yeah, I mean, the car was fine, so it's all good.
That's good, mate. You relax. Well done. Ben Roberts tonight, P2. Another good performance, mate. But just, a couple of tenths off the ultimate pace of Laddick. Lap after lap, he's consistent, isn't he?
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Yeah, I just didn't have the consistency around here and sort of been a little bit under the weather because of a flu shot, so I didn't get as much practice in as I really wanted to, but I'll still take second.
Yeah, it was a great drive, man, and obviously it had a bit of everything tonight, but the two of you were constantly out in front, at least away from a little bit of the carnage that unfolded behind, so it was great, and it keeps the championship alive. 1 round still to go. It was 50 points or so coming into this one. It's going to take probably Jaden having a shocker if you got any chance, though.
Yeah, that's what I think that's sort of what I have to hope for now.
A fantastic drive nonetheless, and Rob, mate, back on the podium for Tanked SRT. Great to see you here, mate. Congratulations. Good drive.
Yeah, g'day, Luke. Yeah, that was a lot of fun battling in the top 5 there. It was a few times we were 3 wide, and it was a little bit hairy. I decided just to back out of it, and a lot of them around me sort of self-imploded or got into mischief. So yeah, keep it clean. Good points for the Tank Teams Championship. We're trying to get 3rd in the championship, so really pushing hard for that. So it was good to see 3 tank cars in the top 20 tonight. It was good.
Yeah, for sure. Your teammates, I'm just having a quick look down the list there. You had Chris Barnes back in 17th and then Kalen 20th. So yeah, great drive by all of you tonight, and that team championship coming down to the wire as well. So good job. Let's go through the top 3. Do thank yous as we do. Jaden, who would you like to thank for P1?
Thanks to the league, Race Control, of course, a lot of havoc, and Charlie Smith for being in the voice call me, keep me entertained. So, yeah.
Great drive tonight. We look forward to next week in the championship finale. Ben, P2 tonight, who would you like to thank?
Big thanks to yourself, Luke, for broadcasting this. All the guys at FRG, Machine Cult, Mini Muscle Cars, and everyone else for watching.
Great drive tonight. And then Rob, finally for Tanked SRT, who would you like to thank, buddy?
Yeah, yourself, mate. Obviously, you do a good job week in, week out. Not just this telecast, but all the rest that you do for the rest of the week. It's always good to watch. Rue and the boys, Dave, Lockie, and Ty, and all them. There's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that you don't see, which is just amazing. Like they're probably industry leaders in what they're doing. So it's really, really good. It's a great series to be a part of. And obviously the Tank boys, we're all pushing each other this week, which was great. So our team sponsors BA Crocs and DM Dirt Division, and my personal sponsors Extreme Karts sponsors me.
Great drive tonight. Good to see you on the podium, man, and well done tonight. Jaden Laddick with the win, Benjamin Roberts P2, Rob Bowden. Your top 3. I'll bring Rue in now, the maestro, the man pressing all the buttons in race control, and had a bit of work to do tonight as well. There's a few incidents to look at, but as always, you guys deliver the penalties very quickly and adjudicate. You don't leave people waiting. I like that. The penalties are usually dished out within sort of a lap.
Oh yeah, we need to be right on top of that. A, to just make it look good for you because you want to see the results, and B, because I just don't want to do post reviews. I don't want to be up tomorrow sitting over the computer looking at post reviews. So we try and get that done as quickly as possible. Ty and Lockie are all over it, so we're pretty happy with the results with that one.
Yeah, so good. Now we've got 1 round to go. We're going to Le Mans.
Yes. So we weren't going to do it, and then I'm like, why not try and just throw the wing away on the back of these things and just make them go as fast as possible. And you know what? My favorite part of this track is coming into, is it Indianapolis?
Yep.
That little right-hander coming into it on the left, that is flat out. That is 280 kilometers an hour. Flat out, eyes wide and hard on the brakes once you get out of it. So that's going to look awesome coming through there. That is a full pucker moment coming through that corner every single time. So I'm really keen to see how everyone takes that corner.
Yeah, and high speed as well. I wonder if we'll see some motors let go, because it's going to be a lot of rev in the bashing, I reckon.
Oh, there. So normally, so every time we release, the tank limit for every race, it's literally between 62 and 67% maybe. So Le Mans is somewhere around high 70s, low 80s, because you're burning so much fuel.
Yeah.
Everyone's just going to have their foot flat to the floor, eyes wide, and they're on the draft. So yeah, you know what? They're pushing the limits of that machine.
Awesome, mate. Now we'll quickly mention the sponsors as we always do. RaceKraft, of course, for their constant sponsorship, and VRS. That competition coming down to the wire. We'll announce that next week. So the $99 package of a VRS premium package, and all you got to do tonight is enter tonight's code word. Can you make the sound of a moose?
What does a moose sound like? Hey, wait. Woo! Did I get that right? Hey, wait.
You've probably got a hunter standing right outside your window right now.
All right, I got the moose down. Make the sound of a moose, and you're like, you're in. So like, yeah, that's awesome.
A moose is the code word for tonight, and yeah, enter that code word, and I can tell you right now. Let me have a quick look who's just done that.
There's a few.
Yeah, so we got a live update as people enter their little code word, which is good. And I've just got to reload the screen. But the last people to put their name down have been tonight. I've got to scroll all the way down. Charlie, he's in there. Noah's in there. Chris just went in as well. Steve's in there again. Dave's in. So get your names in. Miles is in there as well. So one round to go. And at the end of next week's broadcast, we'll spin the spinny wheel and announce the winner. Rob Bowden just put his in too. Well done, Rob.
Oh well, everyone's getting involved now, so that's pretty awesome. I also want to thank our livery sponsors. They don't get that big round mentions, but I just want to thank KECG and Adreg Motorsports, Andrew Johnston, which I haven't given much love this season because I've been very busy. But he's an awesome dude, and he's putting his money down for the season, so that's awesome. I also want to say we didn't really touch on Silver, but Sean Doyle, I just want to say, unlucky for him. We obviously don't look at what's going on in the race. Someone calls out for a tow, we look at it and go, yeah, that's a safety car, we call it, and I'm pretty sure he was mere seconds past entering the pit area there, and it's unlucky for him. We felt really badly for him, but that's racing.
That happens in the real world, though, Roo. That's what we see in the real world.
Yeah, and they always call out and say, "Oh, you've stuffed me over." I'm like, well, I call it as I sees it, and you're on the bad receiving end of bad situation. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
But but what we can say is he raced such a good race, and it was unlucky to see that happen.
Yep. Well, we see it in Formula 1. We see it tonight in F3A, the World Series. It delivers everything tonight. And Jaden Laddick, he's too strong. He got himself another win tonight. So it's going to come down to next week's finale between Laddick and Roberts, of course. And Lutz a bit unlucky tonight with that spin. Puts him probably out of a challenge for the top two in the championship.
Yeah, probably it's a little bit down there, but what I like about this series is we're 14 weeks in, we're going to the last race, and it's still not finalised, so that's pretty cool. We still don't know who's going to win, so I think everyone should get involved with the last one, because this one's going to come down the wire. It's a huge draft battle because and if you get more than maybe a second and a half in front, you might have got it done. But if you don't get that far in front, you're constantly going to be looking over your shoulder for that car bearing down on you, because we've taken the wing off, so you don't have that parasite drag. You only have you got nothing. If you're in front, you're behind someone, you're going to get that draft. You're going to get that draft from miles away, and it's just going to be this huge battle of back and forth for 50 minutes. So that's going to be exciting.
Awesome, mate. Well, thanks again tonight, Roo. We can't wait till the final round next week. It's going to be mega. So thanks for all your hard work and all the people in race control and everyone that watched tonight. We'll catch you next week. Thanks to the podium too, Jaden Laddick, your winner tonight, Benny Roberts and Rob Bowden. Congratulations, guys.
Cheers, Luke.
Cheers.
Choo. And one more sound of the moose there, Roo. Good night.
See
ya. Oh, it's awesome. And Will Wilson says that's exactly what a moose sounds like. I don't know. I can't remember what a moose sounds like, but I reckon that's pretty good. Ru's a legend, isn't he? Well done. That's it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. F3A round 13, run and done. Jaden Laddick, your race winner. We're going to finish up tonight once again with that little show of the RaceKraft sim rig, and make sure you thank our sponsors and make sure you support them as well. If you need a sim rig, go buy one from RaceKraft. Absolute legends. Thanks for everyone that tuned in tonight, was part of it. Thanks, Will, for keeping an eye on those spam bots and everyone else that was over there in YouTube helping clear out the spam bots. Thanks the star senders tonight, Stephen, Maddie, Chris Mitchell, Keith Logan. Absolute legends. Thanks, guys. Until next time, I'm Luke. This is RaceStars TV. Good night.